What is the biggest everyday scam that people put up with? Ink prices. Doesn't even cost them a quarter to manufacture the ink, yet they're selling it $60 plus. Buy a laser printer. I have a Brother laser printer which I bought for $100. The toner doesn't dry up over time. Each cartridge prints around 1,000 sheets, and you can buy knockoff toner cartridges that are around $30. Can confirm. Brother is an excellent printer brand. One toner cartridge lasts 4 years, and if it slows down, just shake it a little, and it's good to go. And I've never had jams, or needed to go to the store to buy cyan when I'm printing in black and white, and I'm out of yellow now. What the hell is happening? This guy I took a math class with in college told me about how in the 90s he set up a fake tech help hotline and charged the most per minute possible. He would then go downtown dressed in a suit and go to a random office pretending he had an interview and act surprised that he was in the wrong place and beg to use their phone to figure out where he needed to go. He would then call his hotline and pretend to have a conversation for just over a minute, so he got paid for 2 minutes and thank the receptionist and leave. This scam is incredibly 90s. Love it. Yeah, I can imagine Kramer doing this. Why can't we live in a world where we don't have to expect that any call from a number not in our contacts is a scam or spam 99% of the time? Side note, have these gotten way worse over the last year for anyone else? October was especially bad. I get at least 5 calls a day on weekdays now. It's definitely exploded in the past few months. Even with RoboKiller on my phone, it still gets the first ringing before RoboKiller stops it. So annoying. Textbooks, at least at US universities. Depending on the subject they can cost anywhere from $100 $400 per book. New editions are released annually to ensure that the content remains up to date and the price remains high. For an egregious example, I had a graduate level economics course that required a $300 textbook, $150 when rented for the semester, which actually had an international version available online that was the exact same book, but instead cost $60 retail. The only thing is that the book was listed as being not for distribution in the US. I spent $150 on a lab manual this semester and it didn't even have any binding, just the pages frick them. Seriously. One of our lab manuals was a PDF file that we had to print ourselves. Still $150. Bolt-on fees for bullcrap that takes no time at all and generally doesn't have material cost. Booking fees and the like. I'm looking at you. Got into an argument with a gym when signing up. They advertised no startup fees, then during the process informed me of a card fee for the membership card. When I argued that they were just calling the startup fee by a different name, they didn't agree, didn't sign up. So I can look forward to paying the card fee every time I come. No, it's a one-time fee. Just at startup. Comcast. Bloody Comcast. We wouldn't let Bill Gates install Internet Explorer on his computers, but Comcast/Time Warner exist. Too bad we are the only high-speed internet provider in town. Rub nipples. No, this isn't a monopoly. You can still get DSL from the city. Rubs nipples. The fact I am getting 5-10 spoof number spam calls a day now. That should be punishable by mob beatings and being fed to pigs. I get so many calls from almost my own damn number. Why do they think that will make it less suspicious? My grandmother was called by her actual freaking cell number a few days ago. They ghost the numbers in. None of them are real. I have dozens of blocked numbers on my phone and it barely slows them down. Built-in obsolescence. Consumers spend good money to buy products that are designed to fail or become obsolete in order to stimulate further sales. Not only that, but replacement parts become unavailable or are so expensive to buy and install that consumers end up replacing the item completely, even though it should have much more useful life. This is mine too. So hugely immoral and unethical, but people like getting new toys, so it's barely noticed unless you're poor. Not sure how scam this is considered, but internet package prices. It is super easy and cheap to provide basic internet speeds these days with the foundation we've already laid, so when ISPs charge insane amounts for a mediocre package that's very much abusing their regional monopoly powers, like Spectrum, We had TWC and had 300 Mbps internet for 69.99/month. Spectrum took over and our speed slowed to 100 Mbps, but they marketed to us as it being a 5.00 savings. Now they say that their lines can't handle any faster speeds. I like how they also only advertise the 15/MO basic internet plan, only for people on government assistance, and the regular basic internet is $65.70. That's a big difference and feels extra sour because you thought you could get something cheaper. Ticketmaster and their sale policies. We arrest/fine/ticket people who scalp outside of venues, but it's perfectly legal to resell the tickets on Ticketmaster or StubHub because the website gets a kickback, and that's just messed up to me. Also processing/convenience fees when no other option to purchase exists. Their website is one of the worst user experiences in existence, and they get paid twice for the same ticket if it's resold. I'm certain some startup will unseat them one of these days. A few weeks ago I was in London, enjoying many of the completely free museums they have to offer. I wondered why such world famous museums would be free when they could easily charge money. I saw a sign that said, "This museum is made free due to lottery funds." And I thought it was really cool how lottery taxation and profits in London go towards making something so amazing free. I don't know how much lottery money in the States really does go to helpful causes, but I hope it's a lot and isn't just a scam. In Georgia, is pays for heavily subsidized in-state college tuition. In Georgia, watchdogs have been claiming for years that the numbers on the lottery and education funding don't add up, but thankfully the governor addressed the issue and made it illegal to release information showing where the lottery funds actually go. The new and used car market in the United States. I don't think there is a field more shady and potentially harmful to the consumer. The fact that you have to go to a dealership to buy a car, although I really hope Carvana.com takes off. Let me specify make and model, the color, and accessories, and just deliver the damn thing to me. I'll arrange my own financing, and don't bother with the "oh I need to speak to my manager," because saying frick you, if you're not authorized to sell a vehicle, then why am I bothering with an underling, is very satisfying, because they know you know the deal here. Healing crystals and other quackery like this. People paying top dollars to get a stone which does nothing else than just look good. As someone who loves rocks and minerals precisely because they look good, screw all the scammers driving up the price of quality specimens with their new age bullcrap. Isn't it fun when you go into a great rock shop with great prices and someone walks in and starts asking about energy? The cashier usually rolls their eyes and says, "Oh yes, if you keep this one under your bed it's supposed to improve blah 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 blah." They hate it like we do, but they sure will milk it if it means a sale, lol. Junk is approaching you at the train/bus station with a bullcrap story like, "Hey buddy, I just worked a 12-hour night shift and I forgot my cash at home. Could you give me 50 cents so I can grab a coffee and a ticket to get home?" It becomes a bit awkward if you see the same guy with the very same story 3 days in a row. 10 years ago I visited Leeds in the UK. On my way to the station a man approached telling me he needed 20p to get his bus home. He'd forgotten his card and thought he had the right change. I didn't have change, so apologized and moved on. A year ago, 9 years later, I was in the very same station and he was still there. He asked again for 20p to get home and explained the situation. I had to give him the money. Can you believe it? He'd been there for 9 years and nobody had given him 20p. On the flip side of this, my parents came to visit me in Boston while I was at university. This guy was at a corner trying very desperately to get $10 for a quick cab ride. Some story about how he needed to rush home for an emergency with his wife and kid. My parents are too nice for this planet and gave him $20. He swore up and down he'd pay it back and to go to X restaurant for dinner later that night. Well, we did just that, and it turned out his son went into anaphylactic shock. The guy was in fact the head chef at said restaurant. We ate at a private table for free, so I guess you never know, but I always remain skeptical. Extended warranties on second-hand vehicles, especially when the warranty is void before you've even driven it off the lot. Salespeople like to push them because they get commission on it, but most of them have clauses. For instance, the car has to have a full service history, yet they sell them on cars without a full service history, or the car has to have a full service history and must always have been serviced at the dealer, yet the car they're selling has a full service history but has been serviced at a third-party workshop once and not always at the dealer. Then there is the fact that, even if the car does have a full service history and has always been serviced at a dealer, the insurance company will always find a reason why they don't have to pay claims. The most common one being that the damage is wear and tear, and because of that it's not covered. My car was a rental car originally. I also got talked into the extended warranty. It was $3,400 through the dealership. I was talking to my bank about the insurance and they asked me to hang on for financing. USAA kicks ass. They told me to cancel the extended, then they set me up for an extended warranty for $1,300 through them. That was 5 years ago. My transmission went out last month. Diagnosed, authorized, installed, and paid for in 24 hours. I love USAA. That extended warranty was nothing compared to the repairs that I've needed. Kinda late, so likely gonna be buried, but I can't believe no one mentioned the rat race. You get, at best, a century on this planet. 1/5 or more is just figuring out who you are, how to walk and talk, learning how the world works and so on, and then you slave your life away selling your labor to make the owners of your company more money while you waste away at the seams. You constantly have to struggle with financial burdens that are not only taxing on the very limited time you have, but also on the very core of your soul. You are burdened with rising rents, financial disasters that you have little control over, and being at the whim of powerful people able to wage war using you and your brethren as cannon fodder for their own gain. We have the technology to give every single person the highest standard of living, and it is achievable. But we cannot come together on these issues because the very basic unit of measurement we have, which is our time, is constantly sapped away by the powerful. It's the greatest scam of all because we feel we have no choice but to buy into it. Higher education in America. Everything involving this. My favorite was the university wanted to build a new rec center, athletics, for the student. There already was one, but people didn't use it because it was too far despite a shuttle bus that ran every 15 minutes. But people didn't want to wait. They tore out one of the last wooded areas on campus where you could see deer if you were quiet and built this monstrosity of a rec center with huge and inefficient glass windows that made the place cost a fortune to heat and cool, and they then charged everyone $20 a semester to pay for that waste of space. The charge was supposed to be temporary. That was in 1993. They still are charging for it. The real slap in the face was they started charging for it in 1993, but it wasn't completed until 1995. But if you were a student paying in those 2 years, you were given a 1-year pass to use the facility when it was completed, except people weren't going to go back to use a gym after graduating. They are still charging that temporary fee today. They learned years ago to not call me for alumni donations because of my less than positive response.